Yo, what's up, gamers? Welcome to Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Thursday night. Hopefully you are ready for some Pokemon trading card game action, because that's what we've got on the schedule for this evening. I just got upstairs. We just got back upstairs from being downstairs, chatting with the GLC locals. And gosh, I'm just excited to see who ends up earning their badge tonight. This is week number 5 of the 2026 Gym Leader Challenge Championship Series. So there are 4 badges that have been earned so far. Huge thank you to Kyle over there on Twitch for the tier 3 sub in 76 months. Appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for the continued support. Something that I decided that I want to start doing at the beginning of these weekly Gym Leader Challenge streams is to bring up morsemakes.com and reference the leaderboard, because Ben Morse keeps nice track of the Gym Leader Challenge leaderboard over on morsemakes.com. So that way, you know, we as a Gym Leader Challenge community can kind of keep up with who has earned what badges so far this year at Full Grip Games as players try to earn as many badges as they can throughout the season. The season resets in July, as you can see here. This season started July 24th, 2025, so there's been 4 weeks so far. We've got 2 Dragon badges, Sean and Lee, a Lightning and a Metal, Alex Carpenter and Craig. And the 2025 Gym Leader Challenge Invitational is happening this Saturday, and folks, I am really gassed up for that. I have been working relentlessly on my deck for the Invitational. The way that the Invitational works is that you have to play a type that you earned a badge with throughout the season. And for the 2025 season, which ended July 17th, I only won 1 badge. I only actually played 3 weeks, so was very busy this year streaming the events, and then obviously also with the little one at home. But I do have my fighting badge, so I am locked into playing fighting at the Invitational on Saturday. And since I am playing in the Invitational on Saturday, that means that I am not going to be streaming the Invitational. I am going to be producing it. So what I'm thinking that I'm going to do is I'm going to record the table all night during the Invitational. I'm just going to record the tabletop, and the table will be table 1. And then I may even whip out a secondary camera for table 2 and like set up a tripod so that I can record those games as well. And then I'm going to mash it all together in one like edited tournament video in post. You know, I'll cut out dead space, and I'll fast forward through shuffling and stuff, and offer some summarized kind of commentary over the top of the tournament, similar to how I did with like the Rockets Tyranitar Gym Leader Challenge video, if you saw that on the Tricky Gym channel. So it should be a fun one to produce. It's going to be a lot of work to produce. It is a double elimination invitational, so it's going to be a lot to produce that thing, but it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be cool. It'll be unique. I don't think that I'll have another video on Tricky Jim quite like it. So, yo, what's up, Seymour Biscuits? Thank you so much, Seymour, for that sub and the 56 months. I appreciate it. We've got some very exciting things in the works right now, folks. I am approaching the finish line on the Gino documentary, the band national champion Gino Lombardi documentary, coming out September 1st. That is just over a week away, about a week and a half away. So thrilled about that. Cannot wait to share that with the community, as I've been working on it for about a year and a half at this point. It is the most amount of effort I've ever put into a single YouTube video in my entire life. So thrilled for that to finally be released. And we've got Jesse Parker going to be joining me this upcoming Wednesday for some Mega Evolution testing here in the studio. So very excited to touch base with Jesse again after his visit to Anaheim for the World Championships. And it looks like players are setting up and getting ready. We've got, a great round one here. Austin Charles and Dylan Ryan. Austin Charles just got back from Anaheim, where he participated in the World Championships. So I was chatting with him a little bit about his experience at Worlds before the event. Very proud of him for earning his second Worlds invitation. It brings me a lot of pride to see our locals qualifying for Worlds. I mean, it's really exciting to get to root for, your hometown heroes out at the World Championships. So very cool to have our locals represented with Austin Charles out there. I know Jesse Parker was also in attendance, so very cool to get to root for Jesse as well, who's obviously a frequent guest here on Tricky Jim and a friend of mine. And then also, anyone sign up for the Milwaukee Regional Championships last night? I did. That's right, folks. I haven't attended a regional championship since like Indianapolis 2024, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's been over probably about a year and a half since I've attended a regional championship. So I'm very excited about that as well. I signed up for the Milwaukee Regional Championships. My buddy Riley, who I co-host the Tag Team podcast with, is a Wisconsin native right now. So he is also signed up, and I'm stoked. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into this Mega Evolution set, as that is going to be the format for the Milwaukee Regional Championships, the Mega Evolution formats. Ideally would have been able to attend the Pittsburgh Regional Championships, as it's only a 2-hour drive from my house. So like, it would have been a very easy trip to make, but I've got other business going on that weekend. So excited to get back out there at a regional, though. It's been a long time at this point, and things with the home life, family life have settled down a little bit. We've got a little bit more of a routine now, and it's easy to kind of plan events out, weeks at a time, to have babysitters and stuff like that to help out. And also, our little buddy is old enough now that he can kind of understand. Well, maybe not understand the concept of a babysitter, but like understand that, like, we'll be back, bro. All right, and here we go. Round number 1 is underway. Let's go. We've got Psychic versus Colorless. Austin Charles on the right, Dylan Ryan on the left. Austin with an ideal opener with this Mew from Fates Collide. Mew is a really cool Pokemon. It's got an ability that allows you to look at the top. No, this is not that one. Never mind. I was going to say, okay, this is the Mew that can copy one of your bench Pokemon's attacks. No, I was thinking of the other Mew that from Celebrations. Yes, this is the Memories of Dawn Mew that allows you to copy one of your bench Pokemon's, one of your benched basic Pokemon's attacks. And this is making me think with the Comfy reveal that Austin is going to be playing the Lost Box deck, which is a pretty wild archetype in Gym Leader Challenge. I mean, you would think that it would be very difficult to get 10 cards in the Lost Zone in Gym Leader Challenge format. And like, you're kind of right. It's not that easy, but it is possible. It is not impossible, that's for sure. So we'll see how Austin fares getting these cards into the Lost Zone. I'm going to start things off with a Comfy Flower Selecting. Crazy to hear that again. I mean, the Lost Zone engine has been out of standard format for a while now, since like what, February, March? But it feels like an eternity at this point. Austin is just going to retreat his Mew into Comfy, Flower Selecting, and then pass. And Dylan also has an incredible starter with the Fan Rotom and Buddy Buddy Poffin in his hand. So Dylan's really looking like he's about to pop off, as he could take a turn 1 knockout on this Comfy with the Fan Rotom. Fan Rotom, obviously an incredible card in both Standard and Gym Leader Challenge formats. Has the Fan Call ability, which allows you to search your deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 hit points or less and put them into your hand. And it looks like Dylan is maybe playing colorless Control. I think I see the making of an Ursaluna in this deck. So colorless Control is very powerful colorless archetype. And the concept is to get this really big Ursaluna into play and make sure that it never gets knocked out by using cards like Max Potion and Recycle Energy. You can use Recycle Energy so that you can use Pete Hunt to put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand, and then you can like Max Potion, and then the Recycle Energy comes back to your hand, and you can Pete Hunt again, and it's just this kind of this crazy loop that you can do over and over again. So Dylan is setting up like a champ right now. He's kind of got access to anything he could want on the first turn of the game with Fan Call and Buddy Buddy Poffin. And the question is going to be, does Dylan play a way to protect his bench? Probably not from Sableye. I have to imagine that at a certain point, Sableye may just be able to kind of knock out everything on Dylan's bench. So this is actually going to be a really interesting game because Austin is playing this crazy spread deck, which is going to loop Sableye with the Lost Mine attack to place 12 damage counters on the bench over and over again. It looks like it's Austin's turn, but should probably... Oh, is he playing the redeemable tickets? That's cool. Redeemable ticket is just a easy way to get that Colress's Experiment out of the prize cards. If you happen to prize Colress's Experiment, that could be very good, as Colress's Experiment is kind of the best card at getting cards into the lost zone. And we can see Austin kind of weighing some decisions now in his hand. He's got a quick ball, got a Pokestop as well. Thank you so much to my militia over on Twitch. Says, I finally got a tattoo of a Mr. Mime. Dude, that rocks. Congratulations. Living up to your name. Fantastic. Love to hear it. Thank you for those 17 months. Thank you, Flying Type Trainer, for that sub in the tier 1. As well as Random Effect for the sub in the 27 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. So we see Austin go get a Esper out of the deck. Esper can evolve into Meowstic, and Meowstic has got some sort of helpful ability. The Lost Zone deck, I always got to look up all these different cards to remind myself what the heck they do. All right, Meowstic has got the Inviting Ears ability. Yes. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 supporter cards and put them into your hand. So this is a great way to guarantee the Colress's Experiment, which is why this deck is playing it. So we see Austin get that out. Austin also playing Dusknoir, so could really do some damage to Dylan's bench. I'm sure Dylan is very much not going to mind that Pokestop being in play, as we saw that he actually just discarded a Pokestop as well. And this control deck is definitely trying to reach the bottom of the deck quickly so that it can set up and start taking control of the game, if you will. So there we go. Battle Compressor is going to allow Dylan to discard 3 cards from his deck, which doesn't initially seem like a very powerful effect, right? It's how is discarding cards from your deck a powerful effect? But, Battle Compressor is one of the strongest items ever printed. It's just got so many uses, as many cards play out of the discard pile. It also allows you to thin your deck, which is very useful, of cards that you don't need anymore, like as we see Dylan getting rid of Hisuian Heavy Ball. But then we also see Dylan kind of using Battle Compressor as a search function. Dylan's got 2 recovery cards in his hand, so decided to discard 2 Pokemon that he wanted, the Ursaluna and the Chinchino, so that he could evolve into Ursaluna and Chinchino with the 2 recovery cards that he had in his hand. Chinchino, obviously incredible for that Make Do ability, allowing you to discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. Going to allow Dylan to churn through his deck even faster as he tries to reach the bottom. We see him using Make Do to discard Lieutenant Surge's strategy, draw 2. And then that Ursaluna just looming there, 180 hit points. And what's crazy about the Ursaluna is that it also has the bulky bump attack, which does 200 damage, and you have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So this control deck also attacks. That's for sure. It definitely gets in there and attacks. It's trying to wall with Ursaluna and heal and run the opponent out of resources. But then it's also attempting to knock out key threats with Bulky Bump. And you can do that with cards like Triple Acceleration Energy, or now Ignition Energy. Ignition Energy is probably the card that's being played, and you can use Ignition Energy to power up Bulky Bump in just a single turn, and then it obviously gets discarded the turn it gets used, but then you can just Pete Hunt for it back. And a lot of these colorless control decks are playing Luxurious Cape as well, which gives your Ursaluna 100 hit point buff, giving it 280 hit points, which is as much HP as like your stage 1 Pokemon EX, which is absolutely insane. But it does make it so that your Ursaluna gives up 2 prize cards when it gets knocked out. I do know that the Lost Zone decks, if there's anything going for Dylan, or if there's anything good going for Austin here, it's that the Lost Zone decks typically play Lost Vacuum, as Lost Vacuum is a card that can allow you to get another card into the Lost Zone, right? Because you can Lost Zone your own card from your hand and then also Lost Zone one of your own tool cards. So with Lost Vacuum, it's possible that that Luxurious Cape won't stick. And then, in fact, not only not stick, it could get sent to the Lost Zone. And then another question is, does Austin play Mimikyu? Because if Austin is playing Mimikyu, and at some point the Ursaluna uses its attack, Mimikyu could copy that attack. Austin could also use Dusknoir to pull off some shenanigans to knock out Ursaluna. I mean, I'm really interested. I'm super curious. I have no idea how this matchup is going to go. Absolutely no idea. I mean, it very well could end in a tie if both players aren't, very conscious of the time. The match could certainly end in a tie. It's not what I want to see, but it is definitely possible. So it looks like Meowstic coming into play now and using that Inviting Ears ability to go search out. Oh. Okay. Level Ball is going to search out Meowstic, which will use the Inviting Ears ability. And Mysterious Treasure will search out Banette. And Banette has a cool ability as well. It's got the Puppet Offering ability, which allows you to send Banette to the Lost Zone. And then in exchange, you get to put a supporter from your discard pile into your hand, which obviously is very good because it gets 2 cards sent to the Lost Zone. You're sending Shuppet and Banette to the Lost Zone. And then it also can get you your Colress's Experiment back. So you can see how this deck just kind of jives together as you race to try and get 10 cards into the Lost Zone. And there's just a lot of synergy. But one of the sketchy things about this deck is that sometimes it can just take a little while to get all 10 cards into the Lost Zone. And we see Dylan, I mean, yes, Dylan is playing colorless control, but Dylan's deck is also very capable of just taking prize cards and pressuring the opponent. And we see it's kind of funny to watch a control deck take the lead But that's exactly what we're seeing in this game here. Austin's got Counter Catcher, which he's going to use to try and strand Dylan's Oranguru in the active. And then we do see Austin start to put some pressure on. We've got this Uxie, and the Uxie has an attack that places 2 damage counters on all of the opponent's Pokemon. So this is going to be a nice way for Austin to start to soften Dylan's Pokemon up with this Uxie. And the Uxie attacks for just a single Psychic Energy. It's got the Painful Memories attack. Place 2 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Great way to finish this turn. For sure. Certainly one of the worst parts about the Lost Zone deck is that sometimes you're just stuck passing in the early turns with nothing to do as you try to build up to 10 cards in the Lost Zone. But this Uxie here is one of the strongest spread attackers that you can use early on in the game. Something to keep in mind as well is Dylan might be playing a Lost City. And if Dylan is playing Lost City in his colorless deck, then he could Lost Zone Austin's only Sableye. And then things get really sketchy if that happens. You know, this Lost Zone Psychic deck is really intending to just loop Sableye over and over again, sometimes even copying Sableye's attack with Mew. We see that Dylan finds Hapu off of the random receiver. And here goes Hapu. Look at... Nope, that's Pokestop. Hapu has a similar effect. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck, and you get to keep 2. Now, this could be a really nasty Airy from Dylan. I see he's kind of thumbing that Airy at the front. Airy allows you to look at your opponent's hand, discard 2 items you find there. That could be pretty disastrous for Austin. As we know, Austin is sitting on his Lost Vacuum, which will allow him at some point to Lost Zone the Luxurious Cape if it comes down onto the Ursaluna. And here we go. Oh, wow. A huge hit here as you get the Vacuum and the Versus Seeker. Those are both very good cards. Just an absolutely nuts hit off of that Airy for Dylan. 2 incredibly consequential cards. And then the Scoop Up Net to switch and heal the Oranguru from Dylan. And yeah, this is looking absolutely nuts for the colorless deck. Lost or Galar Mine to counter the Pokestop as well. Kind of insult to injury. Austin was feeling very good about that hand, but losing the Vacuum, losing the Versus Seeker is very tough. Austin still has a lot of good stuff going on, though, with that Banette in play. He can use the Puppet Offering ability and still get in there with the Culver's Experiment this turn, which is what he wants to do. As we see, he's going to send the Banette to the Lost Zone for a Culver's Experiment. So that's 2 cards to the Lost Zone, and then Culver's Experiment will send 2 more cards to the Lost Zone. And then with the Comfy, that's 5 cards sent to the Lost Zone this turn, which is amazing. I mean, that's going to put Dylan, I think he should be pretty close to 10 by now. But he needs to decide which 3 cards he wants to keep off of this Banette. And then, of course, or which cards he wants to keep off of this Culver's Experiment. And then, of course, we have to worry about, the fact that Dylan might be playing Lost City. Looks like Austin will be at 9 in the Lost Zone after this Colress, so still going to be one short. And that one short is the difference of the Lost Vacuum that got airied by Dylan. So a really clutch decision by Dylan to play airy on that turn. Let me see Austin kind of going through it, trying to figure out which 3 cards to keep. Dylan, can you scoot your discard pile onto the screen a little bit? Yeah, thank you. Perfect. Thank you. And this game is starting to really unfold as, Dylan is taking 2 prizes with just Fan Rotom. I mean, Fan Rotom's just a really solid, efficient attacker. And these Pokemon in the Lost Zone Psychic deck do not have a lot of HP. So we've got another painful memories from the Uxie. Place 2 more damage counters on all of Dylan's Pokemon. Dylan's got that ignition energy on the Ursaluna now, and there is a Lost City in hand. But is this too preemptive? Is this too preemptive for the Lost City? It looks like Dylan is going to reach to Lost Zone this Uxie with Lost City, and that is very scary, but also kind of funny because it means that Dylan is going to send that Uxie to the Lost Zone, which then should put Austin at 10 cards in the Lost Zone, right? But all Austin, this is very risky for Dylan because all Austin would have to do is go Raihan, Mimikyu, and the bear is Lost Zoned, right? So this is risky. This is very risky. And he's also putting Austin to 10 cards in the Lost Zone, I believe. Austin, can you put a dice counter on how many Lost Zone cards you have? Perfect. Yeah, it's 9. Ooh, with the reset stamp? All right, gonna set Austin's hand to 6. Is setting it to 6 though, right? So it's like it's not really a big disruption card. A reset stamp to like 3 or 2 would be nuts, but a reset stamp to 6, that's not bad. And then the question is, what supporter is Dylan going to play as his supporter for turn? It seems like maybe Dylan kind of overthinking this. Don't use it on the active, Dylan. All right, so Dylan, are you really trying to discard all those energy, bro? Because that's what you just did. Why would you do this? No. Dylan did not read Max Potion, man. Oh my god, dude. No, Dylan. Why did you? And you didn't play a supporter. You didn't Hex. Or did you Hex? Oh, he's tilting. He's tilting. I think Dylan just got like way too far in the tank and just like started overcooking really, really bad. And now he's got like his Lost City out here. Yeah, all I can say is that I think that Dylan just overcooked, and it happens for sure. But now Austin, like, very, very happy to just like take this extra turn. And Austin taking a double knockout with the Memories of Dawn. Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. I mean, I have to imagine that the tilt is pretty substantial now from Dylan. He kind of had like the perfect play lined up, and then and then just punted with the Max Potion. Max Potion discards all energy attached to the Pokemon that you're using it on. And, you know, Dylan went to use that Max Potion on his active Ursaluda, which he planned on attacking with. And I mean, I have to imagine that that Dylan has not played this control deck much, but that is a critical error. You really don't want to make that. I mean, the control deck kind of demands so much of you as a pilot in order to make the deck work and to find your win condition before time expires. I have to imagine that at this point, Dylan will probably have a very difficult time winning this one now. It was like Dylan was kind of in an extremely dominant position where I felt like the game was his to win. And now I'm like, okay, well, how do you stop yourself from just like bleeding out, right? Because he's got a Pete Hunt here, but then he's got these two Pokemon on his bench that are very close to getting knocked out. So he's going to Pete Hunt for Recycle and the Max Potion. Oh, Lord have mercy. And now Austin needs to find out a way to get a 10th card in the Lost Zone. If he could go a 10th card in the Lost Zone, he could take a double knockout. We know that Dylan did not get the Lost City back, but it's possible Dylan could use like Lusamine. All right, Austin's going to retreat. Yep, into Comfy. This is definitely a way to get that 10th card into the Lost Zone. That'll work. Ditching Raihan. Does he have a switch to get the Sableye out into the active? Already retreated that Uxie. But he might just be in a position now. Or he passes. Okay, so he's going to pass. Puts the Sableye down, though. I don't think that Dylan can punish him for that. Also, something that Austin has to be extremely careful about is that Dylan does play Belelba and Bryson Man with Bunnelby. So it's actually possible for Dylan to deck Austin out. It's possible. It's very possible for Dylan to deck Austin out. If he goes Belelba and Bryson Man, and then Bunnelby in the same turn, it could all be over. And it looks like it's just another Pete Hunt from Dylan. And now Austin has to be careful, though. He's only got 2 cards left in deck. This could be disastrous. I don't really see, unless he's got game. If he's got Dusknoir, he could just win right here. Or like Dusclops. But I think Dylan is just, he's got the Belelba. If Austin doesn't refill his deck, it's over. Stay calm, Dylan. Do not throw the Belelba quite yet. I can see you're anxious. And that's it. Dylan wins. Belelba and Bryson, man. Austin with the super rod in hand. But that is it. Dylan able to clutch that one out. Was right there at death's door. But the Belelba and Bryson, man, Austin did not see it coming. Obviously, this is not a matchup that Gym Leader Challenge players are testing every day. In fact, I have never played it. And those kinds of interactions are just not things that you see every day. Even cards like Max Potion. I mean, Max Potion hasn't been printed. What was the last Max Potion print? So, like, I can't really blame Dylan for not recalling what Max Potion does, because the last time Max Potion was printed was in 2017. You know, that was like 8 years ago. Yeah, the last time Max Potion was printed was literally 8 years ago. So, like, to me, Max Potion is like, oh, yeah, everybody knows what Max Potion does, but, like, not really. 8 years ago. It's the last Max Potion print. And then Belelba and Bryson Man. Austin's probably never seen a Belelba and Bryson Man played in his life. You know? Belelba and Bryson Man is not a card that you see every day. It just isn't. Max Potion, I mean, so that's part of the fun of Gym Leader Challenge format, is that you're seeing these cards get airtime that just have not been played in a while, or have not been printed in standard for a while. I mean, you get to use the entire expanded card pool. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Max Potion's been 8 years already. That blows my mind. Oh my God. Yeah, my head is spinning just thinking about that. But honestly, I've been thinking about, I'm already playing the tag call engine in so many of my decks. Why not just slide a Belelba and Bryson Man in there? Discard 3 cards from the top of each player's deck. When you play this card, you may discard 3 other cards from your hand. If you do, each player discards their bench Pokemon until they have 3 bench Pokemon. So you it's also like an Avery effect. But it's crazy. Belelba and Bryson Man just discards 3 from the top of each player's deck. Absolutely nuts. There's a reason why Max Potion hasn't been printed in a long time, and I can tell you exactly why. It's because the Pokemon have 400 hit points now. Max Potion would be a disastrous card to exist in standard format. They're literally just printed that, like, gigantic Venusaur, dude. Oh yeah, did you guys see this thing? Thoughts? Any thoughts? Hey, he's kind of crazy looking, huh? Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. He's definitely a high tier mega Pokemon for sure. Definitely a high tier mega. Yeah, he's extremely cool. I'm into it. I think the first comment on Poke Beach, though, I think it got deleted. Yeah, very funny. You hate what they did to him? He's better now. This... He's so cool, dude. He's so sick. Hey, didn't they like reveal Mega Gengar and Mega Diancie? Oh yeah, dude. Whenever one of your dark Pokemon is knocked out from your opponent's Pokemon EX, they take one less prize. 230 for 2. Yeah, this guy seems nuts. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this guy seems crazy, right? They're trying to kill Guardy. Clearly. Yeah, you guys seen this thing? And it's a Gengar card. So, like, he's got the Gengar thing going on. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Make everybody buy Gardevoir. Dang, there's an Eternatus. There's a non-rule box Eternatus. Pog. Ponk helmets? That's crazy. Wonder Patch? Thank goodness Psychic Pokemon get their own Dark Patch. There already is. You're right. It's like a Dragon Eternatus, right? There is a non-rule box Eternatus. But now there's a Dark one. Yeah, thank goodness. I don't know. I was worried about whether or not Psychic was going to be relevant. Thankfully, they gave us Psychic Patch. So now you don't have to worry. Garland Ray, 120 damage, discard up 2 energy from this Pokemon. Couldn't see it, dude. I guess 300 hit points on a basic's pretty decent, but... Yeah, dang, dude, that's crazy. Did I see Sus Clock? No, I didn't see Sus Clock. What's Sus Clock? All right, let's see. How many players do we have tonight? Yo, 16 players. So it's a 4-rounder this evening. 4 rounds of Gym Leader Challenge. Devo spray, but for psychics? Really? Where was that revealed? From the Mega Evolution list. It's Devo spray, but can do stage 2s for psychics only. Suspicious clock. So what is that supposed to be used to do? Like, what is that? What is that doing? Allow you to, like, re-trigger some abilities? It's like a scoop up net for your Guardy EX. Wait, so it's literally you could scoop up net your Guardy. Bro. It can't scoop up the Ralts. All right, so the Ralt stays. That's crazy. Flying type trainer says, "Hey Andrew, can you please clarify what Team Rocket's Articuno's ability actually does? There was a heated debate at the last tournament." Holy crap! You had a heated debate because there was a disagreement as to what Rocket's Articuno did. Holy cow, dude! All right, prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon. Which part of that are we not? Which part of that are we having trouble with? Effects of attacks are like Dragapult's damage counters are an effect. So like the 200 damage from Phantom Dive is not an effect of an attack. But placing 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon, that's an effect of an attack. Devolving is an effect of an attack. Frenzy Gouging is an effect of an attack. Paralyzing is an effect of an attack. Sleep could be an effect of an attack. Those are all effects of attacks. But the damage dealt by an attack is not an effect of an attack. The player was playing Grimmsnarl and said his bench Pokemon were protected from the 30. Well, that's wrong for like a whole bunch of reasons. Wait, what is the Rocket's Articuno doing in the Grimmsnarl deck? Holy crap, bro. Yeah, I think they were confused. Rocket's Articuno does not protect you from Grimmsnarl's snipe. Articuno was against Grimmsnarl. No. Grimmsnarl snipe. And that's why Pokemon should honestly just do away with this. Because it's like this. I know that there's some judges in the chat, right? I see Connor is right there. This has got to be one of the biggest things that players misunderstand about the Pokemon TCG is that damage dealt to a bench Pokemon isn't necessarily an effect of an attack. It's only an effect if damage counters are placed. And it's like that little nuance in the rules creates so much confusion amongst players, like kind of unnecessarily. Players don't understand the difference even if you explain it to them. I know. Like, it's the one thing about, like, the Pokemon's... It says on the Articuno, damage is not an effect. I know. It literally says that. They're trying. Existing effects are not removed. Damage is not an effect. Right. So when it says All you have to do is just really read carefully. The attack does 30 damage. All right, see how damage is there? It says damage. All right, damage is not an effect. Got it, right? But then you read like Dragapult. But the thing is Pokemon should just do away with crap like this because people just don't get it. Put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. All right, that's an effect. But there's still the word damage. You see, that's why it's impossible to explain. When you're placing damage counters, that's an effect. When you're dealing damage, that's not an effect. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Literally that, right? Like placing damage counters is an effect. Dealing damage is not an effect. It's not that hard to understand, but people still don't get it. Okay, so at a certain point, like, what do you do, right? It's not that hard to get, but people don't get it. So, like, we need to open the schools, chat. Open the schools. Open the schools. All right, here we go. Dude, no way. Are we... I can't call it that. Are we having a battle of the jacks? A battle of the... Don't say it. Don't. It's a battle of the jacks, bro. Don't say it. Don't say it. You could say a jack battle. We're having a jack battle right now. A classic jack battle. Jack Martin on the left versus Jack Hooper on the right. Let's go. Round number 2, GLC League Night. A face-off between 2 jacks. A battle of the jacks. A jack duel. Oh, heck yeah. Jack brought dark. Jack Martin has darkness. I see an Obstagoon in there. I'm excited. Let's go, folks. Round number 2 getting underway here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night. We've got Jack Hooper on the right versus Jack Martin on the left. A battle of the jacks. A jack duel. A jack mirror match. A face-off between 2 jacks. Let's freaking go. Jack Hooper going to be going first. He's got Snom in the active and Level Ball. Level Ball going to search out Sobble. He's got Basculin on the bench. And looks like Jack Martin opened with Zorua. I did see in Jack's opening hand, he's got Obstagoon in this deck, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Obstagoon plays into this match, if at all. And Jack has got Hisuian Heavy Ball to start the game. Does find Spiritomb there. That's a good Pokemon to get down early, but it looks like Jack Martin going straight for Hoop Dog, as Hoopa has got the Assault Gate attack, which can deal 90 damage on the first turn of the game, knocking out this Basculin. And there's the U-turn board. That's a turn 1 knockout for Jack Martin, but no supporter played. So that's all Jack had was this Hoopa knockout. I do see a Guzma in hand as well. So this Hoopa could go for 2 if Hoop Dog is not able to respond right away. We do see Jack Hooper using the Drizzile Shady Dealings right now. And Shady Dealings will allow him to get a trainer out of his deck and put it into his hand. Probably be good to go get Irida. Irida seems like a strong choice here, as it can allow him to just continue setting up his board. I see a question over on Twitch. How do I work with cards that appear on the screen? How do I run my overlay? Sometimes I search for them live, sometimes. So I have a stream deck where I've got all the most popular Gym Leader Challenge cards programmed in with cute little thumbnails that look like each of the cards, so that I can just, I could just poke the card and switch between them. But then I also have like a wild card button. So if I need to like go download a card while I'm live, I can do that, and then I put it as the wild card button. So like the wild card button, I can program to be whatever I want. It is the largest stream deck that they make, but stream decks also have a function where you can create pages and folders. So like the way I have my stream deck is that I have each of the 10 Gym Leader Challenge types on my front page of my stream deck, and then like you click on each type, and then like the Pokemon contained within that type are in folders within that. All right, Jack has got Guzma and evolves into Zoroark and is going to go for another knockout with this Hoopa. Assault Gate for 1 more, taking out Snom with the Air Balloon. And is that an Oshawott on Jack's bench? Oh my goodness, what does Samurott even do? I genuinely do not know. All right, Samurott, 160 hit points, Torrential Whirlpool. Once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, switch your opponent's active to the bench. Energize Slash does 30 plus 50 more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So 80 for 1, but could be 130 for 2. That's pretty good. Yeah, I see it, and it's got the switcheroo ability, which can allow your it's a Hydro Pumper too, so it can like ramp to big 1-hit KO numbers. Now, Jack Hooper is stabilizing now. We see that Abyssal Hand Octillery going, and we've got a Grudge Dive coming. With Hisuian Basculegion, this could get tough for Jack if he doesn't top deck out of this. He needs desperately to get some more going. He does have a level ball, and he's got an energy in hand. So this Zoroark can actually take the knockout. I've got to download the new Zoroark, man. And it looks like Jack is going to fish out that Sableye out of his deck because he needs to find some better cards. Sableye can use the Excavate ability in order to look at the top card of the deck and either keep it there or put it into the discard pile. And now, I mean, Jack does have to worry about this Zoroark getting knocked out. If Jack has something like an Aqua Patch and Palafin, this thing is toast. Sableye does offer a little bit of stability, and Rainbow Energy onto the Zoroark will make it so that Mind Jack can swing for 150 damage, does 30 damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And now Jack has to decide, does he keep this top deck or does he ditch it? He's got Versus Seeker in hand, so like if it's a supporter, he can discard it and play it right now. It's Ultra Ball. Yeah, you definitely discard that. You need to find a supporter for sure. And Mind Jack will take the knockout. I mean, Jack at this point has gone all the way to 3 prizes, does find a supporter off the prize cards, but it's Iono, which is like, at this point, he's taken so many prizes, right? The nice thing about Sableye, though, is that Sableye does have an attack that makes it so your opponent can't use one of their attacks. It has the Disable attack. It looks like Jack is going to promote Kyogre. Does have Aqua Patch. So could power up an attacker with a single turn without that Frostmoth online. Looks like Jack Hooper's going to take Hilda and play it as the supporter for turn. Hilda can get an energy and an evolution Pokemon. It looks like the evolution Pokemon of choice is going to be Inteleon with the Shady Dealings ability. And it doesn't get an item. No, that would be very good. It gets an energy. Counter energy, yeah, that'll do. So then Jack is going to use Shady Dealings and go get Rare Candy. And I think he's probably looking for a way to go search out the Samurott, but he's got Evolution Incense, so he could go Rare Candy, Evolution Incense. So like that's kind of a cool little thing he could do. Jack could go off of Shady Dealings, get Rare Candy, Evolution Incense, and then go get the... I think right now Jack only got 1 card off of Shady Dealings. Yeah. So you go get Rare Candy, Evolution Incense, use Evolution Incense to go get Samurott, and then you switch the Inteleon into the active spot with Counter Energy, and you Aqua Bullet for knockout. Place 20 on the Sableye. That seems like the play. I don't know if Jack sees it, but that's the play, I would say. He's like almost there. You could tell he's like, I want the Rare Candy. You could tell he wants it. Unless there's something else in hand here I'm missing. Looks like you got Rare Candy, Buddy Buddy Poffin. And it's going to play Ordinary Rod. to go get Snom back. I worry that Jack is not attacking this turn, when he certainly had the cards in hand to take a knockout on this Zoroark. Again, with the counter energy in hand off the Hilda, you just go Rare Candy into Samurott. The Samurott's a really cool card, and it has this like automatic switching effect. Take a look at it. The Torrential Whirlpool. Yeah, Torrential Whirlpool says once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Ah, but it wouldn't have... Okay. Oh, wow, the Samurott's already in hand. Okay. I did not see that. Cool. And so Torrential Whirlpool switches that Inteleon into the active spot, and here we go. The knockout is taken. I did not see that Samurai hiding there in the hand, so my apologies there, Jack. Jack had the situation under control, and now Inteleon takes that knockout with the Aqua Bullet attack. But the thing about the Samurotts is it did not allow Jack to take a knockout on the Zoroark, right? Because the way that the Samurott's ability works, it pushes your own Pokemon to the bench and your opponent's active to the bench. So Jack was able to take a knockout on Jack's bench Sableye, which is like not what he wants. He would much rather have taken a knockout on the Zoroark. And really, that is a little bit Jack's doing, because Jack could have promoted the Drizzile, I guess, instead of promoting the Kyogre there, which would have then allowed that play to happen. And now it looks like Zoroark taking another knockout. It's crazy that Jack Martin is at just 2 prizes remaining with as small of a developed board as he has right now. I mean, he's literally got Sableye, Sneasel. Jack is just... It seems like Jack has kind of just barely been piecing together each turn. But it's working. It is working. As Jack Martin now only has 2 prize cards remaining. And Jack Hooper's got Frostmoth online now, so can use that Ice Dance ability to rain water energy into play. But still, I guess, okay, if Jack Hooper can find enough water energy for Kyogre, right? You could accelerate all these energy to Kyogre and then use the Samurott to move the Kyogre into the active, and then Kyogre can actually hit whoever you want. Does 180 anywhere with its attack. It looks like Jack Hooper's going to play an N to 4, and has to find 2 water energy. In order to attack with Kyogre. Can he find it? Finds Floatstone, Verse Seeker. No water energy there in those 4 cards. Jack Hooper is looking dry. Sandy, I need water. Very cool deck from Jack. I do love to see the innovation This Samurott is really neat. It's like a Hydro Pump attacker. It is a switch out. It's really cool for that. Uh-oh. All right, here's the deal. Jack Martin, you accidentally drew 3 off of that Iono. So I'm going to propose you shuffle your hand and put 1 on top, and then that'll be your top deck for turn, okay? I think that's fine. If you guys are good with that, I'm good with that. All right. I think Hoop has already used Octillery, I think. So I think has 0 chance of hitting the energy he needs for this attack. It's really tough. We can see Hoop kind of just going through it, trying to figure out. Like, there's really not much of a board there for Jack. I mean, it's really just this one Zoroark. Can you get through this one Zoroark? And now Jack Hooper trying to decide who to leave active against this Zoroark, which is using Mind Jack for right now 3, 6, 9, 12, 140 damage with the Dark Claw on it. Tough choice. I'm going to send up Palafin. Okay, actually going to use the Samurott's ability to switch out into Palafin. Now Excavate can check the top card of the deck. Jack decides to leave it there. Looks like he's got a double turbo in hand. He is 10 damage shy of knocking out this Palafin. Palafin's got 150 hit points. That double turbo energy does not feel good anywhere. However, if Jack puts the double turbo energy onto the Zoroark, he takes the knockout by copying Palafin. Does he see it? Colress's Tenacity is a supporter he's got. It would have been much safer for Hoop to leave Samurott in the active spot, as Samurott does not have an attack that is easily copied by Foul Play. The Samurott. Well, what does the Samurott for each energy attached to this Pokemon? So 3 energy, 150, 180, 200. So actually, crazy. The double turbo energy would have actually allowed Energizing Slash to take a knockout on the Samurott as well. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. Wow. Is Mind Jack Foul Play, or not Mind Jack, Zoroark's Foul Play allows you to choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. Looks like Jack's going to use Colress's Tenacity, get Artisan, use Artisan to get Galarian Zigzagoon. Kind of a funny way to get Galarian Zigzagoon into play, considering you don't proc its ability when you search it from the deck like that. So its ability does allow you to place a damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon, which can be situationally useful. But we do already know that Jack is playing Obstagoon, so probably just values the Galarian Zigzagoon as a potential attacker in this matchup. Now, my question is, does Jack see No, does not see the Justice Kick. That's crazy. So he's going to Mind Jack and do 10 short of the knockout here. And if he had attached the double turbo energy to the Zoroark, he's taking a knockout on the Palafin. Doesn't see it. I can't think of a reason to go 10 shy on the Palafin. So yeah, 140 there. Gonna leave the Palafin hanging on with just 10 hit points remaining. All right, and now that is certainly the break that Hooper needed. A slight misstep there from Jack Martin, I would say. Yeah, so you see him agonizing over it. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. That's okay. That's okay. At least he sees it. Yeah, at least he sees it. That's always the best. Misplaying's not so bad so long as you know you misplayed. That's the way I feel about it. So long as you know you messed up, you can learn from it. Misplaying is just the worst when you don't even know that you're messing up. That's why, honestly, it does a lot to test with people, to test with people who are also trying to get better, who can question your plays and who can ask you thoughtful questions about the lines that you're choosing and the cards that you're playing and the order that you're playing your cards. One of those people for me was always Jimmy Pendarvis, rest in peace. But like when I was like kind of really starting to get better in the game and learn how to play, Jimmy was one of those people who was just far more experienced than me, and I would play with him and he would just be picking my play apart left and right, asking me why I was doing things. And it made me much better as a player to get to play with somebody like that. All right, and finally, Jack Hooper has got the Kyogre in the active spot and can finally lay waste to that Zoroark, which has been a thorn in his side with the dynamic wave attack. Looks like Jack Martin has a response, though, with Raihan. That's probably the card he saw off of Excavate last turn and was like, oh yeah, I got to keep that for sure. Raihan is going to allow Jack to go search out Weavile, and he can use Weavile. Evil Admonition, right? Does 50 damage times the amount of abilities. It's 3 abilities, 150 damage. Jack Martin can also use Artisan, go fetch out that Purloin. And now at this point, Jack Martin's just got to figure out how to take this final prize that has been a rocky road to get here. And honestly, if that double turbo energy went to the active Zoroark last turn, then Jack Martin is announcing the game-winning attack right here. But it looks like Jack Martin's made his life a lot more difficult. With the double turbo energy stuck on that Galarian Zigzagoon now. All right, here is the Weavile, one of my favorite cards in the Darkness pool. It's got the Evil Admonition attack, does 50 damage times the amount of abilities your opponent has in play. Right now, Jack Hooper has 3 abilities online. That's 150 damage for just 1 energy. And Jack Martin deciding whether or not to keep or discard this top card of the deck with Sableye's Excavate ability. He's got a Hiding Darkness energy in hand and is choosing not to attach it. An Evil Admonition will take the knockout, bringing Jack Martin down to just 1 prize card remaining. And Hoop has got Nessa, can just instantly recover up to 4 in any combination of water Pokemon and water energy from the discard pile. Gotta get that single basic water. Basculegion as well. We already know that Hoop's got all the energy he needs in hand to take a knockout with Kyogre if he wants to. Could also be a Grudge Dive situation. We'll see who he decides to power up. Yep, it's looking like it's going to be Kyogre for sure. And then also has Hex Maniac, but has already played Nessa, so Hex Maniac not an option. Ultra Ball can go get Wishy Washy out of the deck. Thin a couple of cards that he doesn't want. And let's see if Jack Hooper can pull off this comeback. A 3-1 prize comeback he's trying to mount right now. Can use Abyssal Hand to fill his hand to 5 cards. It's looking like Kyogre is going to be the man of the hour right here. Coming in with that dynamic wave attack. I don't believe there's anything else for Jack Hooper to do. Here comes Kyogre. Dynamic Wave, 180 damage. He'll have his choice of whichever Pokemon he wants to target on Jack Martin's board. First, he's going to use the Samurot's ability, which allows both players to switch their active Pokemon. And then Dynamic Wave to target down the Weavile. Does Jack Martin have a play? He's got Spiritomb, build Spite. He's got Clara, which can bring back the Weavile over the course of 2 turns. I feel like you go... but you know that, like, the problem with all of this is that Jack Hooper can knock out whatever he wants with the Kyogre, right? So it's like Jack Martin's throw may end up just losing him the game completely. Like, he might just be out of it. He's got to excavate. Oh my God, I think he's bailed out. I think it's Versus Seeker. I think it's Versus Seeker, chat. So then you swing for 90. And then, holy cow, this is close. Yeah, this Samurott is like pretty nuts right now because it's allowing Jack Hooper to continue switching the Kyogre to the bench with the Torrential Whirlpool ability. And it looks like Jack Hooper saying, okay, might be time to attack with Samurott, as he weighs very carefully what to do on this turn. And it's looking like it's probably going to be an attack with Energized Slash. And now kind of the entire game comes down to this situation. As we see Hooper consider his play carefully. He's got Arvin, can go get an item and a tool card, maybe pot helmets. Give his Samurott a little bit more survivability. Pot helmet making it so the Samurott takes 30 less damage from attacks. Its Torrential Whirlpool can move it into the active spot. Ah, but the Samurott has a float stone on it, so no pot helmet here. Couple more energy getting tossed into play via Ice Dance. Pot helmet to the weakened Kyogre. And are we going to get to see an attack from Samurott? It's looking like it. Oh, no. Okay. Looks like we're not attacking with Samurott. Instead, going in with Kyogre. This seems very sketchy. As the Kyogre's only got 50 hit points left in the top deck is Versus Seeker. Jack Martin is going to go get Guzma and take the game-winning knockout with Spiritomb. And just like that, Jack Martin going to advance to 2-0 here at Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. 2-0 with his Darkness deck. A close one, a nail-biter for sure. That was a really tight match between these two players. The Battle of the Jacks did not disappoint, folks. That was a good one. Also really cool to see Jack Martin's Darkness deck. I know a lot of players are kind of trying to figure out what to do with their Darkness builds after the double turbo or after the twin energy and double colorless energy ban. And Jack Martin showing that Darkness can still hang with the best of them, advancing to a record of 2-0. Jack Martin's deck is still featuring the Guzzlord. We saw the Beast Ring in that deck, as well as the double turbo energy. Thank you, Kyle, for that Prime sub in the 35 months. Really appreciate it. What a game, folks. What a game. All right, you might have noticed that my table got bumped, okay? My table got bumped. So I'm going to go move it ever so slightly to get it back into position. And then we'll be right back with round 3 after this. So thank you all so much for being here. We'll be right back with round 3 here at Gym Leader Challenge League Night in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This stream is sponsored by Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield makes the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games, like the Pokémon TCG. Dragon Shield sleeves are super durable, making them perfect for tournament play and collecting. They also come in a huge variety of colors, so there's always a great choice to match your deck. You can even turn your favorite photograph or design into a custom box of Dragon Shield sleeves using the Sleeve Crafter on DragonShield.com. Head over to DragonShield.com and place an order for your favorite sleeves today. Use code TrickyGym at checkout for 5% off your order. Again, that's DragonShield.com for the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games. Huge thank you to Dragon Shield for being a continued sponsor of the channel. All right, we're back, gamers. Time for the moment of truth. Do you think I was able to straighten the table? God, it looks horrible. Oh my God. Okay. I forgot I zoomed in and out. Okay. Let me call somebody trusted. I gotta call Jack. All right, let's see if Jack Martin will answer his phone. Please, Jack Martin. Yo, what's up, Jack? Can you help me out? Can you help me out? All right, no, like over by the stream table. All right, so go look at the camera. Yeah. The top down camera, yep. And then do you see the little like the zoom kind of the zoom thing? It's the zoom, it's like a handle, it kind of like you press it and zooms in and out. It's not like a handle, it's like a little button. Natalie actually knows exactly where it is. But it just needs the camera needs zoomed in an inch. Oh yeah, she knows how to do it. It's like that. Natalie knows what the zoom button is. Yeah, there. Okay, a little more, a little more. Whoop. Okay. Too much. No. This. Yeah, it's too much. You can. Yeah, zoom out. Zoom out. A little more. Yeah, a little more. Yep, more. Yep, keep going. We're getting closer. Keep going though. All right, now zoom in. All right, I'll come do it. Don't worry about it. Thank you. All right, bye. All right, folks. We tried in vain. I'm going to go fix the table again. I'll be right back. All right, folks, I've solved it. I have solved the table. And just in time, because we are ready for round number 3 of 4 here at Gym Leader Challenge League Night at Full Grip Games. That's right, it's round number 3 of 4. 16 players in attendance this evening. And here we are, round number 3. I did hear a funny story about Jack Martin, who won his round 1 match, turn 1 going first. A turn 1 win in Gym Leader Challenge going first. How do you guys think? Anybody in the chat, does anybody want to guess? How did Jack Martin win his round 1 game, turn 1 going first? His opponent did not have a chance to play. How did it happen? Cheating? No, that was not, no. Tyrogue plus scatter? Close. It's Galarian Zigzagoon plus scatter because he's playing dark. So he pinged with a Headbutt Tantrum into a scatter Wishy-Washy, and the Wishy-Washy scattered. Yo, shout out to Gino in the chat. Yo, what's up? I appreciate that, Gino. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got all those pictures scanned in today. I'm really excited. Things are really coming together. So, yo, big shouts to Gamer G Jesus in the YouTube chat over there. We got Gym Leader Challenge League Night going on here tonight at Full Grip Games. Round number 3 getting underway now. That's not their names. We have got Dylan Ryan on the left and Anthony Saya on the right. Both players are 2-0. This is going to be a colorless mirror, but 2 different kinds of colorless decks. As we've got Dylan playing the more control variant of colorless on the left, and I imagine that Anthony is playing an attacking variant, a more straightforward attacking variant of colorless on the right. Round number 3 is underway. Here we go. Dylan Ryan going to be playing first. He's got the Gormandize Snorlax in the active spot. That is a really cool Snorlax to be playing. The Gormandize ability allows you to fill your hand to 7 if it's in the active spot, which does end your turn, but this is a control deck. So, I mean, really, Dylan's got no qualms with that, wants to just try and go to the bottom of his deck as quickly as possible. And with Ultra Ball in the opening hand as well, he can thin that hand down and then use Gormandize to fill that hand back up, all on this first turn of the game going first. Dylan Ryan going to do a quick prize check and just make sure there's nothing major that he's missing. Being the control deck, it's very important that you figure out which cards you don't have access to in your prize cards, because control decks aren't typically trying to take all 6 prizes, though this deck certainly can. This deck certainly can take all 6 prize cards. Especially with that Ursaluna that we saw earlier. Ursaluna is the kind of key component of this control deck. As we see Dylan end his turn with a Gormandize. Ursaluna has got both the Pete Hunt and Bulky Bump attack. Pete Hunt allows you to put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Bulky Bump does 200 damage for 3, and you discard 2 energy from Ursaluna. The deck plays both triple acceleration energy and ignition energy to power up that bulky bump attack. And with Lost City, it's possible that Ursaluna can Lost Zone key threats in the opponent's deck while avoiding getting KO'd in return, which is very powerful. We see Anthony has got turn 1 Guzma and Hala, and Guzma and Hala is just one of the strongest supporters in Gym Leader Challenge format right now. Is a tag team supporter, which allows you to search your deck for Stadium, Special Energy, and a tool card. And as of late, Pokemon Company has been making very good Stadium cards, tool cards, and Special Energy have always been good. But it seems like Guzma and Hala, as the quality of Stadiums and tool cards have increased over the last couple years, Guzma and Hala has just continued to get stronger and stronger. With, every deck pretty much has the option to go Guzma and Hala for an Artisan turn 1. Artisan can go get you the basic that you want. In this case, it's almost certainly going to be a Fan Rotom. You can also go get the tool card that you want, and the technical machines were kind of insane for Guzma Holostonks, right? Because you got Technical Machine Turbo Energize, as we see Anthony going straight for that, and can use Fan Rotom's Fang Call to go get 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less, and put them into his hand. So great for setting up. Can get the entire Cinccino line, as both Minccino and Cinccino have 100 HP or less. Dodrio is another line that you can just go get with the effect of Fan Call, as Dodrio and Doduo both have 100 hit points or less. And then, of course, you can get Bidoof, which evolves into Bibarel, but the one thing Fan Rotom cannot get is Bibarel. If Fan Call could search out Bibarel, I mean, there would be riots. People already think that Fan Rotom is way too good. We see Anthony's got that Minccino to the bench, Squovit as well, and Jet Energy will move that Fan Rotom into the active spots. And are we going to see a turn 1 swing for 70 or a TM Turbo Energize? There's not really anything worth TM Turbo Energizing to, so just going to be the Assault Landing for turn 1 70 damage from the Fan Rotom, and the ball is back in Dylan's court. Dylan's got a Cinccino of his own, so we're going to see some make-do action right here. I got a question in the Twitch chat. Do I have any tips on how to be better at Gym Leader Challenge? Most certainly. First of all, tuning in on Thursday nights here on Tricky Gym definitely helps. Watching other players play, watching winning strategies in action, listening to commentary on the format, all of that definitely helps. Playing games with people who are like at the skill level you want to be at certainly helps as well. Playing games with players that can critique your play and ask you thoughtful questions about the lines you're taking and help you get better. And then also participating in online communities. So like the Tricky Gym Discord, Gym Leader Challenge discussion, when you have questions, asking thoughtful questions to the Discords. There's the Cardboard Warriors Discord as well. Lots of places where you can participate in community and ask questions. But the number one answer is practice. The more you practice, the better you get. All right, Dylan's got another Airy for turn. Airy, not as powerful of a hit as we saw Dylan get with the Airy against his round 1 opponent, as Anthony does have to discard that special charge and Evolution Incense. The Evolution Incense kind of hurts, as Evolution Incense was going to be an easy out to Bibarel. Bibarel, with its Industrious Incisors ability, is kind of the backbone consistency engine of this deck. Thank you, Rusked, for that sub and the 27 months over on Twitch. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now we see Anthony's got his Make Do Chinchino online as well. And is considering a TM Turbo Energize, which would help to power up his Snorlax on the bench. Snorlax, kind of the big hitter of this attacking colorless deck. It's got the Thumping Snore attack, which does 180 damage for 3, and then puts the Pokemon to sleep, and it needs to flip 2 heads in order to wake up. Dylan's going to play Clay as his supporter for turn, which discards like the top 7 cards of the deck or something crazy like that, and then you put all the items into your hand. Notably, Clay was a lot stronger during the Sun and Moon era when tool cards were item cards. But tool cards are no longer item cards, folks. So the tool cards do get discarded. But back when Clay was released, you could get those tool cards too. Really good for helping Dylan get to the bottom of his deck, though. He doesn't really mind which cards he discards to get there, because the whole point of the colorless control deck is to get to the bottom of the deck very quickly and then loop resources with that Ursaluna and the Pete Hunt attack. And as we can see, I mean, Anthony has not taken a prize card yet, so not the blazing fast start that you want from Anthony. You would certainly hope to be up a prize or two against the control deck at this point, but now allowing the control deck to get this far into the deck is certainly a very scary prospect when you haven't taken a prize yet. I do imagine that's all about to change right here as we see Fanrotom staring down this Snorlax. It's already got 7 damage counters on it. Another big question for Anthony is going to be, does his deck play... Oh, there's a Lost Vacuum. Now that is big. Lost Vacuum could be huge. Lost Vacuum will allow Anthony to permanently remove the Luxurious Cape from Dylan's deck. Luxurious Cape is going to be the kind of key offender at keeping this Ursaluna alive turn after turn, as it gives it plus 100 HP. And then Crispin, going to be the supporter of choice for Anthony. Allows him to search his deck for 2 different basic energy, and he can instantly attach one of those to one of his Pokemon in play. The other one goes to hand, but we're seeing that Anthony is also choosing to allocate that energy to the Hop Snorlax on the bench. Hop Snorlax on the bench is going to be one of the key cards that helps Anthony reach over that 200 HP barrier that he's trying to get to. And then Fanrotom taking the knockout with Assault Landing for the KO. Let's see what Dylan has got to respond. Dylan should be able to evolve up into Ursaluna this turn. He's got the Ursaring on the bench, Skitty. He's going to find off of Artisan before he draws more cards. Delcatty has this ability which allows you to put 2 supporters from your discard pile back to your hand when you evolve it. It's just kind of like a ridiculous ability. Very powerful. Explorer's Guidance. Look at the top 6 cards. And you put 2 into your hand. And then discard the rest. Does find the Ursaluna there. off of the Explorer's Guidance and finds a bunch of other good stuff. We've got Counter Catcher, Floatstone. A lot of really good targets. Everything else going to the discard pile. And here's that Ursaluna. Oranguru gonna Primate Wisdom. Swap a card in the hand for the top card of the deck. Just a pass there from Dylan. Dylan doesn't have the cards to switch that Fan Rotom out of the active, to put the Ursaluna in the active this turn. Also, putting the Ursaluna in the active this turn could be a little bit risky, as it's pretty easy for it to get knocked out, as there is a powered-up Snorlax on Anthony's bench, right? Ursaluna has 180 hit points. Snorlax does 180 damage. It's looking like maybe Anthony thinking of choosing Hexmaniac as a supporter for the turn. Hexmaniac would be quite strong as he tries to march down through some of these prize cards. Plays Town Map, which allows him to flip over his prize cards and play prizes face up for the rest of the game. Three-card hand, though, and all three cards are pretty good. It's one of those weird situations where you don't want to actually use Make Do to discard anything. It's like a Mallow and Lana. Mallow and Lana is certainly the weakest card in the hand, so I expect to see that go. It's Hex, though. Mallow and Lana is a switch, so, you know, that's pretty valuable against a control deck. But I still would have expected to see maybe a Hexmaniac to try and slow Dylan down a little bit. Stop the Make Do ability from working. Oh, and it looks like Dylan's actually going to get some really strong cards of his own off of that. Very strong cards of his own off of that Iono. Yeah, it looks like Anthony accidentally drew a 6, but he put it back. So, what can I say? Fan call. Fan Rotom. I'm going to take the knockout. Assault Landing for the KO. We don't do double prize penalties here at League, okay? And here's the Delcatty from Dylan. It's going to allow Dylan to retrieve up to 2 supporters from his discard pile back into his hand. It's going to get Lieutenant Surge's strategy and Guzma, and I am expecting a very big turn from Dylan. Make Do. Dig a little deeper into the deck. Hisuian Heavy Ball finds a Pidgey, which then Dylan can put into play, evolve into Pidgeotto. It's got the Airmail ability. Just going to give him even more dig. And the Guzma with the Ignition Energy, and props to Dylan for actually stacking that Ignition Energy with the Primate Wisdom. The Ignition Energy would have gotten sent to the bottom of his deck if he hadn't stacked it with the effect of Primate Wisdom last turn. So whether that was by design or by luck, I mean, it ended up being a great call from Dylan. And here we go. We've got some shenanigans going. Lieutenant Surge's strategy is a supporter card that allows you to play 3 supporter cards during your turn if you are behind on prizes. And Dylan is most certainly behind on prizes. And here we go, putting it all together with the Lieutenant Surge's strategy. Guzma up Anthony's main attacker, the Snorlax, and then punting it to the Lost Zone with a huge bulky bump for knockout with the Lost City in play. And that is devastating for Anthony. Pretty much all of his eggs were in that Snorlax-shaped basket, and now That Snorlax is gone. So Anthony's got to go back to the drawing board, only up a single prize against this control deck. And Dylan stopping Anthony from making a gameplay error there as he thinks about using Make Do. Cannot use any abilities because of Hex Maniac. And keep in mind, that will also make it so that this Hops Snorlax cannot use its Extra Helpings ability to increase the damage of Dynamic Press, which is also quite big. Yeah, thank you, Goofy Goodras, for that sub in the 33 months over on Twitch. I appreciate it. And that's crazy, because really, the Snorlax Dynamic Press does 170 with the Extra Helpings ability, but having that Extra Helpings turned off really makes a big difference, because then with the Hops Choice Band, you're only reaching 170, which is 10 damage short of knocking out the Ursaluna. And this is like really crazy, because Dylan's got the Ursaluna in the active spot now. If Anthony can knock it out, he will send the Ursaluna to the Lost Zone, and that's like the entire strategy of this control deck, is to loop with Pete Hunt. So if Dylan like had the Hops, if Dylan had like the Hops Choice Band in his hand and could get powerful colorless energy Hops Choice Band, he would be sending this thing to the Lost Zone. But he's missing that key piece. So this is where things are going to start to get really sketchy. He's 10 damage shy of the knockout because of the Hex Maniac. Enhanced Hammer, not really going to do too much. Just sends the recycle back to hand. But then Reset Stamp, looks like it's going to be the other choice there from Anthony, which again is not doing that much, as Dylan's still going to get like a cool hand of 5 with Make Do. So like just not that much, right? This feels like a very underwhelming turn from Anthony. And again, all of that is because Dylan had the crazy turn with the Hex. And now this game is over, dude. Dylan just drew into Counter Catcher. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. And he's got the Triple Excel. Oh, yeah. Triple Excel Counter Catcher. Pack it up, chat. Pack it up. Sending both Snorlax to the Lost Zone. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my Lord. It's too much, man. It's too crazy. Both Snorlax getting punted to the Lost Zone back-to-back turns. I'm sure Anthony is going to be reeling after this. And there's a Max Potion. Make Do. We got the Triple Excel Counter Catcher. Oh, yeah. Anthony is not going to be stoked about this. And Bulky Bump that Snorlax to the Lost Zone. And now Dylan has tied it up at 4-4 prizes. Absolute insanity now, as Anthony's board is just getting picked apart by this Lost City. And this is what this colorless control deck does best. It's not, it's not only a mill deck. It can eliminate threats with this Ursaluna. And Dylan has really walked that line just so this game. I mean, Anthony was 10 damage shy of being able to knock out this Ursaluna and send it to the Lost Zone. We can see how close everything is. You're just like on a razor's edge. But now at this point, Dylan has Lost Zoned both of Anthony's attackers that have any hope at challenging this Ursaluna. Not only that, I mean, Anthony's got Cramorant, but Cramorant only does base 120 damage. And without the Extra Helpings ability, It's going to be very difficult. However, it's possible. All right, you go Fickle Spitting. No, you're 10 short still. Even with the Powerful Colorless and the Hop's Choice Band, you're 10 short. Again. Unreal. And you'd have to think like maybe Anthony has a route in this game if he can Lost Zone the Ursaluna right here, but 10 damage short. Yet again, just absolutely devastating for Anthony. I can't believe he's 10 damage short of knocking out this Ursaluna yet again. He's got the Hop's Choice Band in hand, but cannot afford for this Cramorant to get Lost Zoned, right? Like, cannot. Yeah, Anthony does have both, or Dylan does have both of those triple energies in the discard pile now. And Max Potion in the discard, so I'm sure Anthony is hoping like, okay, maybe I'll get some damage to stick on this thing this turn, right? Yeah, it's just looking really brutal. We have Verse Seeker, Hex Maniac, and Hex Maniac going to be the play from Anthony as he goes in, swings for 120 damage with Fickle Spitting. So no abilities allowed until the end of Dylan's turn. I have to imagine it's going to be a Pete Hunt. And Dylan counters his own Lost City now with the Galar Mine. You know Anthony would have loved for that Lost City to stay in play. And now things are just not so bad. Really, everything was very sketchy there while the Lost City was in play, because if Dylan's Ursaluna gets knocked out while Lost City's in play, I mean, the whole game can kind of fall apart right there. We see Dylan eyeing up a Pete Hunt. He's going to choose to get Max Potion and Battle Compressor? Not the card I would have guessed. But he might have some cards in hand that retrieve cards from the discard pile. And now Anthony is going to have an opportunity to knock out this Snorlax or knock out this Ursaluna, but not the way that he wants. Not with the Lost City in play. That would have been ideal. Make Do does find Powerful Colorless. Colress's Tenacity. Anthony does have Pal Pad in hand, so can chuck a couple supporters from his discard pile back into the deck if he wants to. And Anthony has got Powerful Colors there on the benched Kangaskhan. That doesn't feel great, but I mean, honestly, keep in mind that Anthony is a little, reaching the bottom of the barrel as far as his attacking options go, because his two primary attackers have been sent to the Lost Zone. And it looks like he's going to Pal Pad just the Hex back in. Give him one more opportunity to turn off Dylan's abilities. And then Cramorant's take this knockout, putting Anthony to 3 prizes remaining. But with that Ditto from Boundaries Crossed right there on the bench, Ditto from Boundaries Crossed has this ability that just makes it, capable of transforming. Oh, that's crazy. Used the Nest Dash on Squovit, drew right into Bieberell. And then Bieberell, Industrious Incisors. All right. There we go. Industrious Incisors is online now. Squovit provides. It looks like Marnie is going to be the supporter of turn. Anthony's going to get 5. Dylan just 4. See, Dylan is playing that Enhanced Hammer, though. It's going to be very annoying for Anthony to deal with. And Fickle Spitting. Take Anthony to 3 prizes as he selects Parallel City off of his prize cards. And the Ditto, yes, has an ability. This is Ditto from Boundaries Crossed. And the ability is Transform. Who would have guessed that? During your turn, you may put a basic Pokemon from your hand on top of this Pokemon. This does not count as playing that Pokemon or evolving. This Pokemon is now that Pokemon. Any cards attached to this Pokemon, damage counter, special conditions, turns in play, any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So basically, what it allows you to do is, like, if you could recover Teddy Ursa and then like rare candy into Ursaluna this turn, you could get back-to-back Ursalunas. That's what the Ditto allows you to do. And sure enough, here we go. We got Rescue Stretcher, Night Stretcher, rare candy, and Ursaluna is right back. And that is exactly why the Ditto is there. I think that was just a misplay from Dylan using Enhanced Hammer on the Capture Energy instead of the powerful colorless energy on the bench Kangaskhan. I'm sure Anthony is kind of like, okay, because the Hops Cramorant has got a Hops Choice Band on it, so it attacks for free anyways. So there's really no point in using the Enhanced Hammer on the Hops Cramorant. We see Dylan going to use Pete Hunt, grab Enhanced Hammer, scoop up nets. But again, I think Anthony is just a little bit powered out at this point, as none of his Pokemon can reach the damage threshold that they have to get to in order to deal with this 180 hit point Ursaluna. Ursaluna has already done the hard work of lost zoning the 2 Pokemon that could do 180 damage. We already know that Dylan has an Enhanced Hammer and a Max Potion in hand, as he just got those out of the discard pile. And now it's this, tough situation. I don't know that Anthony has a very easy way to win this game, but then also you have to ask, does Dylan have an easy way to win this game? Because at this point, if you're Anthony, there's 8 minutes left on the clock, and just stop drawing cards, right? Like force the Ursaluna to attack you every turn, I guess, right? And it can't even attack every turn. It just be every other turn. It's possible that you could get to a tie. A tie would be a very favorable outcome for Anthony at this point in the game. And the Cramorant swings for 150. Fickle Spitting with the Hop's Choice Band attached. But we already know that Dylan has got Max Potion in hand. So there goes the Max Potion. You can attach the Recycle Energy right back to the Ursaluna. And now Dylan gets to pick 2 more cards to get out of the deck. And not concluding this game, very real possibility. So long as Anthony doesn't get himself too close to decking out. And the Hops Cramorant is just kind of going back to back. I mean, the fact that Dylan is just stuck at 4 prizes means that this Hops Cramorant is swinging for the fences. I mean, 150 for 0 energy is like pretty good. I do worry about Anthony's resources a little bit. Getting the Fairy onto the Kangaskhan is quite good, as now it's just 1 energy attachment away from a Hammer In. Hammer In is like 3 for 100. And then Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking allow Anthony to stack the top 2 cards of his deck, but we could see how low those resources are. And at this point, Anthony is just so close to decking out. He's like kind of getting Dylan closer. Now Anthony has to say, like, all right, am I going to like Guzma and knock something out? Guzma the Oranguru doesn't feel great. Anthony does not have a free retreater, and we could tell that Dylan is kind of like anxious to get this game underway as time is ticking, and Dylan does have to kind of work a little bit in order to actually win. It's not that much that he needs to do. I mean, really, Anthony doesn't have like a ton of resources in his deck still. So Anthony has done a lot of the hard work of milling himself out for Dylan. Oh, did Anthony double supporter? Is his taking too long? Yeah, Anthony, you totally double supported, bro. You use Cypher and then Guzma. Yeah, Anthony should have to concede just for that. Bad, Anthony. But it feels like the most punishing thing to do for Anthony is to like let the play stand, right? It's not like I could be like, Anthony, you got to take that Guzma back to your hand, but it feels like the only just punishment is to like allow the Guzma to stay in the discard pile, if that makes sense. you know what I'm saying? Like, as like a retroactive punishment, I should not allow that Guzma to go back to Anthony's hands. Yeah, Anthony is certainly getting ready to lose this game anyway, as we see that Dylan is now Belelba and Bryson Man looping. And now all Dylan has to do is just pass, and he wins. I don't think there's anything in Anthony's hand that puts cards back into the deck. Anthony has a 0-card deck at this point. And I think he is just purely cooked with 3 prizes left, and that is game. And Dylan advances to 3-0, 1 win away from his colorless badge with the colorless Ursaluna control deck. Another player falls victim to the Pete Hunt as Dylan is on the hunt for his first badge of the 2026 Gym Leader Challenge Championship season. All right. Well, now I got to check. All right. Did Dylan earn a colorless badge last year? Because now I'm starting to think, like, am I going to have to beat this colorless control deck? Holy crap, dude. Let's go check out morsemakes.com. Shout out to Ben Morse for keeping track of the Gym Leader Challenge League stats here at Full Grip Games. That's all he has? Oh, God. We're guaranteed colorless control. Let's see the Season 2 badge board. Dylan. Yup. Does have a colorless badge. Got his colorless badge with pre-double colorless twin energy ban, but now is on the Pete Hunt. All right. Well. All right. So apparently for the invite that's happening on Saturday, I think that the way it works is that pairings are going to be like Swiss is going to be paired. Not Swiss. It's, I don't know. It's double a limb. But the brackets are going to be, the tournament's going to be paired based on badge count. So Alex Carpenter is the top badge earner. You got JD's number 2. And Fran and Craig are number 3. So of all the 1 badges, me, Dylan, Zeely, Jonathan, Anthony, Andrew Preston, all of us have an opportunity to play against like Alex Carpenter, Craig, JD, Ben Peacock, Fran. Those are like the people that we're likely to get paired up against early on, because that's how the bracket gets paired. It's most badges against least badges. I pity the fool that has to play against my fighting deck round 1. I do. I got all the broken fighting brews brewed up right now. I've got so many brews. So long as I don't get my Ogie Dogie lost zoned, I'm gonna be good, dude. just don't lost zone the dog, and we'll be fine. Or is it a bear? I'm pretty sure Ogie Dogie's a bear. Round number 4. Our 4th and final round. John Patterson back at it again with another finals appearance. Dylan Ryan 1 win away from taking it all home with colorless control. John Patterson has finished in the top 4 more times than I could possibly count. Honestly, John Patterson is kind of like the king of second place. If you watch our GLC League nights, you know John Patterson. Nobody gets more top 4s than John Patterson. What do we got? Matang. I'm very excited to produce the GLC Invitational as well. It's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to see what ends up taking it all home. This is going to be a really interesting tournament as an invitational. It's like got kind of like a different vibe to it. Winner gets a booster box. That's pretty fun. Ben Peacock, no, I'm so sorry to hear in the YouTube chat that you've got food poisoning. Well, feel better soon, Ben Peacock. And thank you, Corbeno, over on Twitch with the Prime sub. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to be our fourth and final round. Here at Gym Leader Challenge League Nights, Dylan just one win away from the colorless badge. John Patterson has been working towards a dub now for, I mean, it feels like John Patterson has been in the finals of more league nights than anybody. And he has got his psychic brew here. Be really interested to see how this ends up going. Fourth and final round, Psychic versus Colorless Control. What's it going to be, folks? Who do you got your money on? Guaranteed going to be a new badge earner today. Guaranteed new badge earner. Looks like John is playing first. Got Necrozma in the active. Ralt's on the bench. And is preemptively going to play Evolution Incense, which is interesting. Maybe John heard that Dylan was out here playing Airy and removing people's items, and John doesn't want to take any chance at that. Taking a look at Dylan's hand. Dylan's hand looks pretty terrible. So could be a quick sweep for John if he's able to get some things going. This Necrozma turn 2 could be quite scary. Necrozma's got the special laser attack, and with the mystery energy already on it, John would just need an energy attachment and a Dimension Valley, and it's go time. Dylan isn't completely up a river without a paddle, as he does have the Minccino, which can call for family and go search for 2 basic Pokemon to put on to Dylan's bench. And that could certainly help him to set up. He can go get the Gormandize Snorlax. Gormandize Snorlax can help to draw cards and get established. I imagine the Gormandize Snorlax is probably going to be a piece of this, because you kind of just need more stuff, right? Yep, so call for family. We'll go get the Snorlax and the Teddiursa. John getting his turn kicked off with Kirlia and Refinement. We use Refinement, discard Raihan. Finds Birdkeeper and Arven. Arven seems like a fine supporter to play this turn. Gets an item and a tool card. Looks like the item of choice is maybe going to be Professor's Letter and Muscle Band. Now, the Muscle Band is very important, and I would hate to see John waste this Muscle Band early, because the Muscle Band is going to be that key card that helps John's deck reach to that 180 barrier. As you can see, Special Laser does 160 damage. Another key attacker in this deck is Iron Boulder, which does 170 damage. But then keep in mind that Ursaluna has 180 hit points. So that Muscle Band, which increases the attack damage by 20, is kind of like the key card. And wow, with Dimension Valley in hand, this is the turn 2 Special Laser going first from Necrozma. And that is about as strong of a start as you could ask for from John. Really putting the pressure on early with the help of Necrozma. Dimension Valley dropped, and Special Laser gonna really apply some pressure. Dylan has Gladian as the supporter for turn, so can play Gladian to go grab one card out of his prize cards and swap it with Gladian, and it looks like he's favoring Pokestop, which makes a lot of sense because Pokestop is a counter stadium to this Dimension Valley, which is going to force John to commit another energy to the active Necrozma in order to take a knockout. And then it also will allow Dylan to dig into his deck a little bit more. Here's the Pokestop, Scoop Up Net, Reset Stamp. Ursaluna hits the bin. We'll see what Dylan decides to do. I think it's too early to play Reset Stamp. You really don't need to play that yet. Really would like to see Reset Stamp held. There's no point, right? You're going to like put John to a 5-card hand with Refinement in play. Like, not really worth it, but I would understand it if maybe Dylan's just trying to like burn cards out of his hand to just draw more with Gormandize. If that's the case, then that does kind of make sense. Like, that's fine. You could use the Scoop Up Net. I don't hate, like, if you want to burn cards, use Scoop Up Net on Snorlax. Like, if you really want to, use Scoop Up Net. Yeah. Use Scoop Up Net on, like, anything, and then just, like, kind of go, right? Decides to burn the Reset Stamp, and I think that's fine. I guess all cards are cards you can just get back. John does have Psychic Energy in hand, you know, which is going to get sent back. But you have to imagine that with 5 cards and a Pokestop and a Refinement, that, like, he'll probably get the energy again. But we'll see. That's a Gormandize from Dylan, and now John. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to draw for turn, John. John, draw for turn, bro. Did you draw for turn? All right. Yeah. Like, John is, like, forgetting to draw for turn. So, like, want to fix that before he does anything. Yeah. I caught it, chat. I caught it. I'm on it. So the Refinement. He's got the Psychic Energy he needs in hand in order to attack with the Necrozma again. Special Laser, do 160. Snorlax got that Luxurious Cape on it, though. But at this point, I mean, John can just evolve into Gallade and then use Buddy Catch to go get whatever he wants out of the deck. So that's what we're seeing right now, Buddy Catch. And what will John get? Marnie is quite powerful. It's just kind of send Dylan's entire hand to the bottom of the deck. Set him with 4 cards, pretty much negating the Gormandize. I do think that maybe John should bench one more Pokemon. I would like to see the Copycat Mimikyu benched, personally. Because of how it is just possible for Dylan to just kind of like pop off and eliminate an attacker out of nowhere. So I would like to see, or the Natu get benched. Natu getting benched is probably good. Then you also want to get rid of this Pokestop because the Pokestop does allow Dylan to get a lot more dig. So I definitely agree with John getting rid of the Pokestop. I think John's trying to be a little conservative by not benching too many Pokemon because he is up against a control deck after all. But it's not that kind of control deck. It's not really the kind of control deck that's like trying to strand something infinitely. I mean, it can if you're like really careless. But John's got Palpad and Birdkeeper in the deck. I really don't think that like a strand strategy is happening here. So it looks like John's going to go get Inkay off of the Artisan. And then Special Laser for 160 does not take the knockout on the Snorlax because of the Luxurious Cape, and we'll see what John gets off these 4 cards. Fifth one is a big one as he finds the Explorer's Guidance. Level Ball can also go get Chinchino, the Make Do ability. Explorer's Guidance going to give Dylan a lot of dig as well. Artisan for Pidgey, which hits the bench immediately. And Dylan survived that Marnie. Looking fine now. But does have a 2 prize liability in the active. I mean, if John takes this knockout on the Snorlax, then it's giving up 2 prizes because of the Luxurious Cape. And that's not something that Dylan, I'm sure, loves. Iono is going to be the supporter for turn, which gives Dylan 6 new cards to work with before the Make Do. Finds a Scoop Up Net, which is big. So if he wants to preserve this Snorlax and not have it give up 2 prize cards, he can do that. Scoop Up Net the Snorlax, promote the Lily's Pokédoll. The Lily's Pokédoll is like a free pivot, as you can just at any point put it on the bottom of your deck from the active spot. And then Battle Compressor. Allow Dylan to discard 3 cards from his deck, which does help him to thin his deck a little bit. Get cards that he doesn't need anymore out of the deck, like Buddy Buddy Poffin. Maybe Tag Call. Yes, sir. And then we'll see if Dylan decides to use the Scoop Up Net on this Gormandized Snorlax, which I have to imagine that he will. I feel like the opportunity to deny 2 prizes that's a pretty strong use. And here he goes. Tool goes to the discard pile. Lily's Pokédoll promote. And the Lily's Pokédoll has this effect that allows it to get chucked to the bottom of the deck when it's in the active spot. And that's exactly what Dylan does. Promotes the Snorlax, and now we're in good shape. Ideally, Dylan might have liked to see like a Ursaluna this turn, or a Ursaring this turn. But it's okay. Gonna Gormandize for 3. And I mean, that is like an effective slowdown, right? I mean, the Luxurious Cape did exactly what Dylan wanted it to do. It bought him a turn. but then it didn't give up a prize card, right? So that's like an ideal exchange for Dylan. Luxurious Cape and Scoop Up Net being exchanged for an additional turn, basically, is massive when you're playing a control deck. Now, John does have Gallade on board, so can use the Buddy Catch ability to go get whatever supporter he wants out of the deck. If that's Boss's Orders, yup. If it's Hex Maniac, yup. I think Boss or Hex, both great options here. It's probably going to be Hex. I don't see Boss. So Hex is feeling like the one. As it's going to make it so Dylan cannot use any of his abilities this next turn, which will hamper his potential to pop off. I mean, no Chinchino, no Airmail, no Delcatty to get cards, supporters back from the discard pile. I do like that John is starting to invest energy elsewhere as we see energy go down onto Gallade. And Special Laser taking knockouts on that Gormandized Snorlax. John at 4 prizes remaining. What can Dylan do? No abilities because of the Hex Maniac this turn. Dylan does have Rare Candy in hand and Versus Seeker, so any supporter he wants out of his discard pile, he can play thanks to Versus Seeker. He's also got Random Receiver, which would allow him to look at the top of his deck until he finds a supporter there. It's Peonia. It is Peonia. Yep. I was going to say, yep, you stop at Peonia. You don't get to keep going. It's not like Pokegear. Pokegear is look at the top 7, pick 1. Random Receiver is exactly that, random. You reveal cards from the top of your deck until a supporter is revealed, and then that is the supporter that you get. So Dylan going to use Artisan just to check his deck, see if there's any basics that he wants to get, put onto the bench, iron up a Rangaroo potentially, and it is a Rangaroo that gets selected off the Artisan. At this point, no abilities still. It's got Peonia, so could play Peonia to exchange up to 3 cards in hand for those prize cards, but probably has a supporter in his discard pile that he'd like to play more. Nope. Hapu out of the hand. All right. Look at the top 6. And you pick 2 to keep, discard everything else. Kind of a not terribly exciting Hapu there. There's a bunch of supporters that Dylan can play next turn. Doesn't have any bench space for the Clefairy or Lily's Pokédoll, I mean. Max Potion is like fine, but you don't have the Ursaluna yet, so it's probably going to be a Max Potion grab and then retreats Teddy Ursa into like something else. And we noticed that Dylan decided to keep something else out of the Hapu because he's got Versus Seeker in hand, so he's keeping Guzma. I mean, he could still go get that Explorer's Guidance if he wants to with the Versus Seeker. It's no problem. And actually, it looks like the Teddy Ursa is going to swing for 10. I did not expect that, and I don't think the damage is relevant. So I think that Dylan is just valuing every other card he has in play over the Teddy. Now, John here, I like this play, Buddy Catch, to go get the Cynthia and Caitlyn. And this is just one of the reasons I love Cynthia and Caitlyn in pretty much everything, because this is going to help give John card advantage while also recovering a supporter from the discard pile, and he's probably just going to go get that Hex Maniac back. And cards like Cynthia and Caitlyn just allow you to play Hex Maniac like more, right? And Hex Maniac is such a powerhouse card in Gym Leader Challenge format that being able to recycle it is incredibly powerful. As you see, John, kind of immediately knew where this turn was going with the Sinlin grab off of Buddy Catch. Now, if you're John here, you probably want to keep suiting up that Gallade for sure. And then Artisan may grab one more Pokemon. And I think that John could grab a backup attacker, like another backup attacker, like get like Mimikyu or something. I really don't hate the Mimikyu because, well, I'll maybe leave the Mimikyu because if the Pete Hunt, the Ursaluna comes out, it's doing 200. It can do 200. The Mimikyu is the thing that can copy the Ursaluna to deal 200 easily. All right, and Dylan, send up that Ditto. Maybe show off its cool transform ability this turn. Ditto can instantly turn into any Pokemon. Any basic Pokemon, you just have to lay that Pokemon onto the Ditto and it becomes that Pokemon. So we see that Dylan does have the Rescue Carrier, and can just plop the Teddy right back onto the Ditto. Now the Ditto is now the Teddiursa, and all turns in play, all that, basically get transferred onto the Teddiursa. So it's like Dylan is promoting a Teddiursa from the bench, which obviously is quite good because now that means he can use Rare Candy to evolve into Ursaluna, the main attacker in this deck. So I guess if there was one, like, maybe John should have the Mimikyu, maybe the Mimikyu should have stayed in the deck. Maybe. It's going to be hard to say because it's like one of those really, like, if Dylan has the cards he needs to, like, Lost Zone the Mimikyu, that could be troublesome. But then John Patterson has the Muscle Band in deck, right? And Muscle Band will allow the Necrozma to hit 180. So John was smart and did not waste the Muscle Band earlier. I love to see that because that Muscle Band is going to play a key role in allowing John's attackers to hit the 180. And you have to hit the 180. And if you already know Dylan is like down the Luxurious Cape. So if Dylan does something like super risky, like put the Lost City into play, then all John needs to do is go get Muscle Band and Lost Zone the Ursaluna, and this game's over. So this is actually going to be a really close one. John has certainly done his job of mowing down Dylan's prize cards. Or mowing down Dylan's Pokemon and taking prize cards. We got the Delcatty. Delcatty is going to use its ability to go get two supporters out of the discard pile to hand. And it looks like Dylan is playing Lieutenant Surge's strategy this turn. So it's going to allow him to play up to 3 supporter cards. Dylan, can you play with your discard pile in? Yes, thank you. And it looks like, dude, he is going for the Lost City. Like, this could just lose Dylan the game. This is so crazy. Like, you go for the Lost City here, like, you could just lose, right? Muscle Band response, and it's like, and it's over. So it looks like he's not going to end up grabbing the Lost City, instead going for Galarmine. We've got the Ignition Energy, probably the Gallade going down. Have to imagine that. And this is part of why I was like apprehensive for John not putting down like the the Natu. I think John probably should have put down that Natu. You need a little bit more board stability, right? Because at any point, Dylan could just like absolutely annihilate your board. As we see here, we've got the Lieutenant Surge's strategy allows Dylan to play 3 supporters because he's losing. So he's got the... And now, I mean, sure enough, John has got like Xatu in hand, but he didn't put down that Natu earlier, which I think he should have done. And I understand why John is being hesitant to bench things. And with the enhanced hammer, it's just, oh my goodness. And now Dylan is like asking himself, well, I've got the Lost City. Should I Lost Zone the Gallade? Don't be greedy, Dylan. There's no reason to Lost Zone this Gallade. The Gallade is not coming back, bro. It is not. There's one thing I know about the Psychic deck is when you knock out the Gallade, it ain't coming back, bro. That thing like never comes back. Ooh, the 20 damage from the Horror Psychic energy is actually quite big. If John finds a special energy off the top, I mean, then he's got the KO. Yeah, it's just a situation like this. John really wishes he had that. Oh, it's the muscle band, but does not have what he needs. And John is getting extremely punished for not benching that Natu earlier. Again, chose not to. But it's not exactly the kind of control deck you're up against here. It's not one of those decks that's just going to try and, Dylan's colorless Ursaluna control deck is not just going to try and drag up random Pokemon into the active to stall them out every single turn. It's a more aggressive control deck than that. So John's got Buddy Buddy Poffin, and now ultimately is deciding to go wide. And I think John is kind of realizing maybe too little too late that wide was the way to go all along, right? Because now in like the time of most need, John does not have the response KO that he needs to stop this steamrolling Ursaluna. We got to make do from Cinccino. Airmail. And we see Dylan is low on cards in deck himself. 2 cards left. I'm telling you guys, I'm just going to start putting Belelba and Bryson Man in like every deck. Because what if your opponent just has 3 cards left in deck? Then you just win. The Airy, finds the Fog Crystal there. John could have played that for a basic energy out of his deck this last turn. Decided not to. Dylan's got the triple acceleration energy now. Galar Mine countering the Artisan. This Ursaluna is going to town with another bulky bump for 200 damage. John has got his Mew to promote, and that's it. Now, Mew can go find an item off the top of the deck, but an item here is not going to be enough to save John. And again, I mean, John could have played that Fog Crystal last turn. I mean, that would have been like a very... that would have been a kind of a spot-on prediction to play the Fog Crystal. I mean, I don't blame John for not preemptively playing the Fog Crystal, but again, it's like a play that could have happened. right at this point, as we see John's board state kind of fall apart and we see Dylan kind of march towards victory, right? And John had such a dominant board state and such a dominant game state, we have to ask, like, how did it get here, right? How did it get here? And there are a couple of key factors. I mean, I think John's decision not to go wide earlier in the game is 100% the reason for this stall out. John kind of put all of his board stability on the back of that single Gallade, and then the Gallade got annihilated, right? The Gallade got knocked out, and so like the Gallade got knocked out, and the Necrozma got enhanced hammered. So when you only have 2 threats on board, and your opponent can neutralize both of them, but you have to kind of know that this colorless control deck is kind of capable of neutralizing 2 threats at the same time. You know, it's capable of doing those nasty plays like that, the Guzma, Iono, Enhanced Hammer. Like, that's all, that is like the bread and butter of a deck like this. So the best thing to do against a control deck like this is to go wide, to make sure that you have those backup attackers. Make sure that you can put that pressure on. We see John kind of weighing what to do, right? Because he's got the Xatu in play. He top decked a Psychic Energy. I'm pretty sure it's the only basic Psychic left in his deck. So he kind of wants to save it because he got hexed this last turn. So he can't use Xatu's Clairvoyant Sense to draw 2 cards. The thing is, you might as well, and now you've revealed the Psychic, which is unfortunate. So you kind of like have to play it. Yeah, John's kind of weighing, you know, do you hold on to the Psychic in order to use Clairvoyant Sense next turn, or do you attach it? Neither feel good. At this point, you know, John's deck is just kind of completely stalled out. And again, the reason for that is lack of board stability. Was kind of only rocking the Gallade and the Necrozma, which was really solid through the first couple turns. But Dylan had the perfect turn to neutralize both those threats. And now with 4 prizes left, Dylan's going through the motions of achieving this kind of perfect end game sweep. He's got Hex Maniac back. He can play it again. Stop abilities again. He's got Ignition Energy, Max Potion. Looks like he's just going to go for Pete Hunt again, kind of knowing that this Ursaluna is safe and he can just afford to sit back and recur resources. Pal Pad is certainly going to be 1, and then Scoop Up Net again. Scoop Up Net very good to allow you to reuse the Delcatty. But Dylan did not play a supporter. No, yeah, you didn't hex. Yeah, we see Dylan is like, okay, thought I hexed, didn't hex. All right, so John finds Evo Soda, which is quite good. Which can allow him to go get Malamar, right? But Malamar might be in the discard pile. Are you playing the Evo Soda, John? John, what's up with that Evo Soda? All right, so it's just going to be a pass. And it still seems as if Dylan is in a very commanding position. I mean, John has this 2 energy Mimikyu on the bench, but this thing is just asking to get knocked out. And sure enough, that is exactly what Dylan is going to do, as he's got the Floatstone Retreat on a Rangaroo. And does he do it? Does he commit the Lost City? No, it's not worth it. Don't get greedy, Dylan. Don't get greedy. No reason to get greedy. You're in complete control of the game. There's no reason to get greedy with that Lost City. There's a Xatu in play after all, you know? You really don't want to, the cards exist for John to take a knockout. It looks like John's going to go for Night Stretcher. But at this point, like, you have to Night Stretcher for an energy. And then you have to use Clairvoyant Sense, right? It's not great. And you're doing it just to go see 2 more cards. Oh, it's Malamar. Okay. That makes sense. Psychic Recharge. And a pass. Doesn't feel great. John's still just completely stalled out. Dylan's got Palpad in hand. Can go put 2 supporters. Surge's strategy. Oh, that dude better not try to Surge right now. You are tied. You are tied, Dylan. Don't even try it. Scoop up nets. Gonna reset the Delcatty. As much as I try to get Dylan to abide by the keeping the discard pile on the table, he will not listen. So maybe this plea on stream will get him to eventually abide. All right, so we got a Hex Maniac and a Pete Hunt. It's going to be Palpad and Triple. John finally has U-turn board, cannot use any abilities. And now Dylan's got a Guzma back. And it's looking like he's going to choose to Guzma up the Boulder. And he's got this game just completely in control. I don't think there's anything that John can do at this point, as Dylan just marches towards the end of this game. 4 minutes left on the clock. Bulky bump for another massive KO for 200 damage. Palpad first. Chuck a couple supporters back into the deck. And then bulky bump for the knockouts. Keep in mind, John still having to deal with the disruptive effect of the Galar Mine too. So even with the U-turn board, this Mew from Celebrations does not have free retreats. It's just disastrous. I don't know that there's any cards that John can draw that will save him at this point. Dylan, I'm hearing that you need to shuffle after your Palpad. Here we go. Mysterious Tail for Mew. And the probably the energy retrieval's got to be the best one. Is like not much to do, but energy retrieval, Maybe hope you can stall something with Palpat or with like Guzma and Wob in the active. Something like that. It's not great, but at this point, you're just trying to figure out whatever you can do. Rescue Stretcher. Like Mimikyu, I guess? Psychic Recharge to Mimikyu, and that's just going to be a pass. So Mimikyu still threatening. I mean, if Ursaluna does use Bulky Bump, Mimikyu can take a return knockout on it, but this is very projected play, right? You see the energy on the Mimikyu. You know what's happening. No sneak plays here. This is just very much being projected. And now, if you're Dylan, you just have to move, right? Yep, you just have to move. Like, don't overthink it too much. And Dylan made the very smart decision of just not overthinking it and just attacking with the Ursaluna. Time is winding down. Bulky Bump, 1 prize remaining. I don't think that there's anything that John can do to come back in this game. There's a Fan Rotom with an energy on the bench, which, if Dylan can knock out this Mimikyu with the Fan Rotom, then that's GG's. And it looks like going to be just a Guzma stall attempt from John. As he weighs who to put in the active spots. Probably got to be Wobbuffet. And a pass. And does Dylan have the game-winning cards in hand? Guzma. And that'll do it. Fan Rotom to KO the Mimikyu. And Dylan Ryan is your GLC League Night winner with Ursaluna Control. Congratulations to Dylan on a job well done. Very cool to see that in action. Very cool. Pete Hunt, Bulky Bump, Ursaluna taking the dub. And we can see how close he was. You know, so many different turns. Things could have gone off the rails, or, you know, things could have, especially with like Lost City in play. We saw his games against Anthony, just 10 damage shy of getting return KO multiple times. John, yet again, with another top 4 finish. John always so close to the dub, but unable to clinch it tonight as Dylan walks away with his colorless badge. And now in week 5 at GLC League Night, there are now 5 different badge winners. You love to see it, folks. You love to see it. And that's going to do it for the stream tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you are in the regional area, or even if you're not, and you want to play in one of the largest, most money-awardingest Gym Leader Challenge tournaments anywhere in the world, make sure to check out the Mega Evolution 6K doubleheader. We've got a $3,000 cash standard tournament happening on Saturday, September 27th, and a $3,000 cash Gym Leader Challenge tournament happening on Sunday, September 28th. The Mega Evolution release weekend doubleheader happening here at Full Grip Games. So signups are available now. FullGripGames.com. Make sure to check that out. It should be an awesome time. I'm going to be joined by, I think, Riley and JW, all 3 members of the Tag Team Podcast, going to be in attendance to help produce the event. I'm very thrilled about that. And that's going to do it for the stream this evening. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you for joining us. If you're on YouTube, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Like it if you liked it. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'm going to be testing new standard Mega Evolution decks with Jesse Parker. Wednesday, daytime stream. I'm doing Wednesday daytime streams every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. And then Thursday night streams. Those are the 2 guaranteed streams that I'm doing every week now. Wednesday daytime, Thursday night. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Y'all have a wonderful night.